as I mentioned, just as we were going to the break in the last segment, first of all, I'm curious, if you have any thoughts on this whole Chris Dorner thing. We did talk about it last week in the context of his manifesto, which I read and shared pieces of with you on the air, and racism within the LA Police Department. And frankly, the LA Police Department is a microcosm of the police culture nationwide, A, and B, and arguably in many ways a microcosm of American society. Racism is alive and well in American society. It's alive and well in police departments all over this country, even police departments that have a lot of African Americans in them. And so, we talked about that. But now we have what looks like, a police execution of a suspect that may have even been legitimate. And which kind of brings up the questions of Waco and Ruby Ridge too. At what point is it appropriate to just kill somebody, as opposed to waiting them out, starving them out, trying to take them alive, kind of stuff? At what point does our impatience lead to problems, as it were? And actually, it's very interesting. Bert in Nixa, is it Nixa, Missouri? Hey, Bert.
Yes. Yeah. How you doing?
Great. I just threw you on the air here because it says you're a SWAT officer and you have some questions or some answers rather about typical police tactics.
Yes, sir. I know that I worked on SWAT for 20 years, and we never had anything that purposely started a fire. Now, when you talk about flashbangs or distraction devices, they do create a flame, and I've put out plenty of those in structures that we've used them on.
Right.
As we enter, we throw in flashbangs or distraction devices, and they do shoot out a flame, and they can start a fire. I've stomped out a few small fires in the process. Mm-hmm. And we also used a CS and OC through a 37 millimeter device to shoot out those into the structure, which usually dissipates a tear gas like OC, which is more of a pepper spray, or the CS gas.
Right.
That makes it extremely uncomfortable for the subject to stay in the structure.
Right.
But I know that we've never, in all the years I've been involved with it, we have anything specifically to go in and start a fire.
What do you think about this, the idea that some suspects have hit a threshold where taking them alive is just like not even a good idea anymore? Like I said, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department tried to take Chris Dorner alive, and he killed one of their guys and wounded another in the process. Is there, in standard police procedures, is there a point where in the field, or does this come down from the top, the decision is made, wanted dead or alive, okay, we're going to go for the dead option?
I think in his case, he's already murdered multiple police officers. He's definitely willing to get into a gunfight. He's not like some subjects who, they shoot innocent people, and as soon as somebody shows up with a gun, they kill themselves right away. So, he's definitely probably the more high-risk individual that you're going to find. And they're not going to risk, like the fire department, to try to put out the fire, and they're not going to risk officers running into a structure with somebody that willing to go gun to gun. More than likely, they would wait for a sniper option, and if they had an opportunity with a sniper, immediately take him.
Okay, so then the question, Bert, if this is legitimate police conduct, and there's some history for it in the United States, why is the San Bernardino Police Department insisting that they didn't intentionally kill him?
Well, and I don't think they intentionally tried to burn him out. Now, like I said, I don't know their tactics. I'm from Missouri. But I know that if they had an opportunity to take him and he had a gun in his hand shooting out the windows or whatever, they would have taken him.
Sure.
Because he is a danger. Once he left the structure, they talk about how they forced him back in. He comes out shooting. They return fire. They want him contained.
Right.
They're definitely going to push him back into the structure if they can, versus having him roaming around shooting and hitting people or innocent people that get caught as rounds go past the officers.
Right.
They're definitely going to force him back to where they can control him, which is in that structure. So
right.
I can see why he would have got forced back in, or what they referred to as forcing him back in.
Right. But see, they're not admitting that either. Even though all this stuff has been pulled off the police scanners, they're saying, basically the fire was an accident, and we're or it was, the consequence of the CS gas or whatever, one of these, as you said, one of these rounds igniting the building, and that it wasn't part of a plan to kill him. And I just don't get it why, and maybe it's this, they don't want to fuel conspiracy theories about, because as Max Blumenthal pointed out, this guy's made some serious allegations against him, one of the largest police departments in the country, and he is not now going to be alive to testify. And
correct. And I don't think you would be able to put a conspiracy like that together to, a high-profile guy like this, that you're going to go out and kill him and be able to make it, and get away with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and beyond that, I mean,
he had the opportunity.
Could he, after he had killed all these police officers, would he have any standing whatsoever to even stand up and testify about corruption in the LA Police Department? I mean, it seems to me that nobody would, you couldn't call him as a witness.
Well, and he wasn't going to be taken alive. He had every intention on going out, killing as many people as possible. That was obvious by his actions. But in this case, the fire starts. He always has the opportunity to drop his guns, run outside with his hands up. He chose not that. And I think, from what I understood, and I don't know if it's true or not, that he ended up shooting himself. Which
yes, that's my understanding as well.
I would very much well have seen that, coming. He wasn't going to go to prison, as police officers obviously don't ever want to end up. Right. I think he had every intention on going out in a blaze of glory, and I was just glad that in this particular case, no more officers got killed. Yeah. And he was a dangerous guy, and I think the dangerous guys, he went out in a dangerous way.
Yeah, no doubt about any of that. I'm just still baffled by why the police departments are not just owning up to what happened. Assuming that what we heard on their scanners is actually what was going down, or why they haven't rebutted it, why they haven't said that was some crazy cop talking on the scanner, talking squat, talking stuff that wasn't true or something. I mean, I haven't heard that from them. But Bert, thanks a lot for your insight.